Hi everybody, Arthur Arkush, Kevin Fishbain here for ProFootballWeekly.com. As we preview the free agency signing period with the Chicago Bears, the Bears have now got Alshon Jeffrey under their control. We also know there's 8 other players that have franchise tags on them. They are not Bears targets. So Kevin, who is up next? Let's talk about other teams' free agents first before we get to the Bears' own free agents.
Well, I think they need to look at defensive line, inside linebackers, maybe defensive backs, and it's too easy to look at John Fox's former players in Denver. Danny Trevathan, they have to get a starter there, and I think he would be a #1 option for them.
You know, Arthur, you look at a couple names that weren't available until a week or so ago, but there's really 3 ex-Rams. The Bears may have to look at all of them. Kyle Long's brother, Chris, maybe could play the 5 technique, not a true 5 technique, but he's big enough to play it. James Laurinaitis is an inside linebacker at the Bears' biggest area of need, and if Marty Bennett's not going to be back, if Zach Miller's not going to be back, Jared Cook could very well be a target for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, they all certainly fall under positions of need, like you said. Chris Long, a little bit of a projection involved there. He's played in a 4-3, more of an upfield type of player, but James Laurinaitis, I believe, has the smarts and the physicality that were clearly lacking at that position last year. Jared Cook, we'll see. I think they're looking for the 2-way tight end. Not that those are, I know they're almost dinosaurs in today's NFL, but Cook is really a jumbo-sized wide receiver, so not sure if that'll be a perfect fit or not.
Tashaun Gipson, a safety from the Cleveland Browns, not as well-known name, a ball-hawking safety. The Bears want to go a little bigger. They're going to get a lot of money. Who knows? And that depends, of course, on whether Kyle Long is a guard or a tackle.
Right. I think we can assume that if we're going to assume Kyle Long is a tackle, they need a starting right guard. And I think why not bring in another safety that could compete with Antrel Rolle and Adrian Amos at that position. So those are the type of guys that you just mentioned. The Bears could sign 2, 3, 4, 5 of those players that are not going to be massive signings that could still kind of help with those needs and help make this team better. Ryan Pace knows they have the 3rd most cap room in the league right now, but he said they're going to be smart and they're going to be calculated, and those players would fit in that category.
All right, Arthur, let's go to the Bears' own free agents, and there's really not a tremendous dilemma here. The obvious point is, yeah, they'd like to re-sign Zach Miller, but that's not going to be the biggest loss in the world if they don't. We thought Tracy Porter could be a target. Didn't play as well the last 2, 3, 4 weeks as he did the rest of the season. Anybody the Bears have hanging out there, you know, Sam Acho, players like that, anybody the Bears figure to make a priority who was with them last year?
I think you hit on the 2 big ones, and I think they're both a little bit complicated. Like you said, Porter's play fell off a little bit. Zach Miller, 31 years old. They both have injury backgrounds. So the Bears are trying to get younger. These guys are either 30 or right there, and they have to kind of weigh that into consideration. A couple 5 techniques. Jarvis Jenkins had kind of an up and down year, but clearly a big need. You know they like Mitch Unrein. So these aren't high-profile players per se, but I think it starts with Miller and Porter, and they see where they go from there.
Kevin Allen Ball got overpaid last year. You've got a couple years left with Antrel Rolle. A couple guys you'd think they might want, they might not want. They could be letting a few more people go.
Yeah, you know, I think Antrel Rolle will at least get to camp and see if he can play for that starting safety job. He doesn't have any guaranteed money left on his contract, so he's kind of a name to keep an eye on. Maybe keep an eye on a Lamar Houston or a Willie Young. I think Willie Young could make a very good argument that he deserves more money for next season, the way he's been able to get after the quarterback the last 2 years. Do they still feel Lamar Houston is a fit in this defense, or do they go find a better edge rusher in the draft or free agency? So those are some names to keep an eye on moving forward.
Will Martellus Bennett find himself a free agent? We know no more this week than we did last week or last month. Ryan Pace, staying mum on the subject, says he won't talk about it until after they're done, at least with the beginning of the free agency period, preparing for the draft. Don't expect any news there for a little while to come. For all the best coverage of the Bears, though, whether it's free agency, the NFL college draft, whatever you want to know about the Chicago Bears, stay right where you're at 24/7 at ProFootballWeekly.com.